Hey everyone, Marisa here with my dad, Joe. We're talking right now, and we weren't going to do a show at all, but my dad just said, go ahead and go live. We'll go live. So he was in the middle of a thought, so I'm going to go ahead and let him finish that thought.
Well, I was just saying that we were fortunate, Tawny and I, to get across the border. Marissa, can you make us bigger? We're kind of
Oh, yeah.
skinny.
There we go.
There, that's better. And then I don't know where I'm supposed to be in here.
Oh, let me flip us too. There we go.
Let me move back a little bit. Sorry about that. I was just saying that's good for me. I hope you can find yours as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was telling you that if I wanted to take Tawny to the United States, just me with her, I probably wouldn't get across the border now because of the. Even though I have a notarized piece of paper from her birthing mother, Esther, and her birth certificate, and that's how we got across when we were able to see you in March. But I don't think they would let me across now, and my fear would be that not only would they not let me come across, that they would take Tawny, and that's scary. So I'm really very nervous about ever crossing the border now. I mean, the reason why is because there's over 330,000 children that are unaccounted for that have come across the border. 330,000. It's actually 335,000 children. They have no idea. This government does not. Since Biden came, since the Biden administration came in. And they've been letting everybody come in. And there's AOC, that politician from New York that sits at the fence and cries and goes, "Oh, they're separating children from their parents. Oh my God, how can they be so inhumane?" So now the Border Patrol sees a kid with a grown-up and says, "Okay, go ahead." There have been so many children that have been kidnapped here in Mexico, and they're used as pawns to get across the border. And they're told to call the guy who kidnapped some daddy or papa or whatever. Otherwise, they'll be killed. They're threatened. And so it's a big deal about traveling with children. And so anyway, it'd be tough if I wanted to just come back to the United States again just with Tawny. For those of you who don't know, I live down here in Mexico. I'm on coastal Mexico. In fact, let me turn this just for a second so they can see.
Paradise.
Yeah, I live right on the ocean down here in Mexico, and it's very, very peaceful, and life is just, I couldn't be happier in my life until yesterday when my dog ran out of my yard and got run over by a dump truck, and I just went insane. I virtually went insane yesterday. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. But you know what? I was thinking last night, you know what? We've got these two new cats, and they're pretty much grown up now. We've had them about 8 months, 7-8 months. They grow fast, and Muffin and Pudding, and they were slowly getting used to the dogs, and the dogs wouldn't mess with them or anything, but they would still kind of step back and want to snap our dogs in the nose. So I was thinking, if I want to get another dog, we don't get them in ones, we get them in twos. I always think it's better to have dogs that are close to each other.
Yeah.
And so my thought is now we'll have a couple little puppies here soon, and we're checking around to find out where there's some puppies. And we'll have two little puppies, and now two little puppies, playful little puppies running around, wiggling their butts and all this other stuff. The cats are going to play with them.
Yeah.
And they'll grow up together, and then they'll be really, really close. And Tawny's been wanting another dog anyway, and so both of us were just bawling our eyes out. I mean, I was so mad. I can't believe, because I was judging. I was taking all the guilt, and it was pretty hard. Anybody who's ever lost a pet knows what it feels like, and I'm kind of still recovering from it. So I apologize. Why don't you take me off? Why don't you talk, Marissa?
Okay. Yeah, I lost my mind when Stevie went missing, and you were saying that you guys were freaking out trying to find Poppy because you didn't know whether he was in a bush and he had died or something like that. And so they're trying to find their other dog, and he had gotten down to the ocean, and the ocean was hitting him up against the wall, and then he got up against the wall and in someone's yard, and they found him, which was Star's son, Poppy. I think Poppy was boy. So
Yeah.
Danielle says, I'm so sorry. But they found him. But I still remember I was scaling the neighborhoods until like 3 or 4 in the morning for months. I was a crazy person trying to find Stevie because every time I would start to get over it, I'd get a call from some psychic somewhere that had taken my class. Your cat is one door down. If you don't get her quick, she's gonna die. And like I would just have these visions of her getting ripped apart by a coyote. And like, I mean, it was surely Lucifer messing with me because it's like as soon as I would start to get over the fact that my 20-year-old cat that was the worst cat in the world, she was so mean, but she loved me. But she didn't mean to everyone else. She used to pee in my she used to crawl under my dad's bed covers and pee in his bed.
Yeah, Stevie did not like me.
She didn't like him. But and then she got into his car and did the same thing when you locked her in the garage one time. But anyways,
Worst smell I've ever smelled
oh
in my
yeah.
life.
Cats can smell the like pee, that gross smell if they're mad or something. But anyways, I don't think that I've ever truly recovered from the whole Stevie incident because when your vibration drops so low and you start to feel guilty, like I was the one that I shouldn't have left because I left, she got let out. And it's like you start blaming yourself for everything and then you go into that guilt and then your vibration drops. And I feel like we lose a piece of ourselves when we lose our pets. But I learned this with Poochie recently, with the dogs. The guides channeled about it 2 nights ago, and I didn't share it with you the other night because there's too much to share because we were talking about everything else. They said our pets have these open, perfect souls, and they reflect our soul back at us. So after you have a pet for a little bit amount of time, they start acting like your other pets because your soul shines directly into them and they shine your soul back at you. So even the like old grumpy guys, that are like sitting at a bar and they're like, I hate everyone, but they get around their dog and they're like letting it lick their lips and they're like, oh, sugar boo boo, and they're just like, oh, I love you so much to the dog. And they're like, get away from me, to people. So it's like, it's because our soul that loves us so much, we can't feel that because we don't feel worthy of it because of like our unworthiness for God. But our pets can reflect that right back at us. But the reason why Sophie is starting to act like Poochie is because she's been around us, and by my soul imprinting into hers and Jeff's, it's like it starts building like this new soul. But our old pets' spirits can come back and live inside that soul. So like the spirit of like Star will come back and be in that puppy and be in a brand new body. I think the spirit of Poochie went into Lucky for a little bit and then jumped over. I think she jumps around, but that was kind of cool to learn that the spirit of our dogs still have their personality and they stay here because they're 4D. They never cross over. They don't truly cross over, right? Because when we cross over, we go to the fifth dimension. We go to become Christ. But our pets are fourth dimensionally. They stay here, so they're forever. They never die. They're here and they come back. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that last part. The guys just came through with that one. That's
Wow.
interesting. That makes
Wow.
sense. They're 4D. They never leave. And
Wow.
I wonder, remember they were saying we were moving out of the fourth dimension.
Oh, you've been talking about us being in the fifth dimension at least for a year now.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, they're really talking a lot about it right now with like the whole like 18 days to go until like this, like they're talking about like all of these energies coming down and like interplanetary shifts. And I turned it on Facebook last night and I was scrolling through trying to find our post to see if it went through. And Teal Swan was on there. She's a spiritual like teacher, kind of guru type person. Gabby Bernstein was on there. They're all Hay House authors, and they're all like, right now is a huge energetic shift. You heard it from me first. Blah 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 blah. Everything's gonna go crazy. Like everyone's going nuts right now over something that's going on, and I don't really know what it is. But the guys were talking about it yesterday, and they talked about it a little bit last night on my TikTok live that I did with Danielle. Um, they last night was very interesting channeling that I did on TikTok. There was a guy who's only died 9 years ago and he's already reincarnated, and I think he's inside like his grandson. So we're going to channel about that later tonight at class because you're not supposed to reincarnate for like a couple generations.
That's right.
Yeah. So my feeling or my sense is that because of the way that the planet's shifting, beings are being like are somehow, because of these guys, the shots and the kids and stuff like that, it's changing their frequency or vibration and leaving them open to beings coming to live inside their field, even if they like it's not through like the normal reincarnation process. They're not crossing over becoming Christ and then coming back down. They're just going like, oh, there's a family member, boop, and going inside them. But that's not fair. I don't want anybody who's died anywhere near my kids' field. They deserve their own life. They shouldn't have to have Uncle Brian in them, or, like, no offense against Brian, but I don't want anybody. I don't want grandparents or anybody inside my kids. I want them to have their own life. But yeah, that's kind of like a thing right now with the kids. And me and Danielle, we're going to do some channeling about it. I think tomorrow on TikTok or something like that, because she's really interested in that. But anyways,
you can bring me back on if you want to.
Okay.
Yesterday's show, if anybody out there hasn't seen it, and I know we're at a startup stage here on YouTube, so it would really be nice if anybody's watching, just help us out a little bit with a like and a subscribe. It's not going to cost you any money. Just do it. Especially if you want to hear what Marisa has to say. I can understand not wanting to hear what I have to say, but yesterday was a good show because basically what our show is about is what's happened in the last 24 hours and what does the other side want to say about it. And you're fortunate enough to be able to have that ability to do that. And you said that, a little while back we were watching the debate, and you were saying what was happening around Kamala Harris and what was happening around Donald Trump, and whether they're dark spirits, light spirits, or whatever. And you had mentioned that you saw behind Trump like a big car guy, and I can't remember whether you said it was a bank guy or it was
David
the oil something.
David Rothstein. He's dead, but he's the one that you said owns the Fed.
Yeah, the Rothschilds.
Yeah.
But anyway, yesterday was a big day because basically the Fed dropped the prime rate down, basically, which means a lot to investors, half a point, which is a lot because normally they only go up and down a quarter of a point.
Yeah.
But then Trump had a town hall last night in Michigan, and he's telling them that we are going to be the best car makers in the world. We are not going to be buying other people's cars. If they want to charge us 100% tariff, we're charging them 200%. He said the biggest massive car plants right now are being built by China in Mexico, and basically in Nuevo León and also Monterrey. And Trump said, we will not take one of those cars until our auto industry is rebuilt in Michigan and some other states. And I was sitting there listening to that, and I'm going, well, wait a minute, that was just what Marisa was talking about yesterday, saying who's influencing him. I don't know if it's so much the influencing, because I don't believe the United Auto Workers have endorsed Trump. Clearly, all the members want Trump, but the leadership don't. And then the Teamsters Union today would not endorse Trump, and yet that's all Trump has ever hired was Teamsters. Whenever he was building all his buildings and everything. So anyway, the point is that you were right. You were spot on yesterday. And I didn't really want to say anything. I was kind of questioning it, saying that the only thing that I think I would see behind Trump, because I like Trump, is a bright light, or maybe God has already saved him twice. There's got to be a reason for that. It can't be just pure luck. Is somebody going to get him on the third try? They got to kill him before he's elected. They have to. Because if he becomes president, he's going to sweep out the entire bureaucracies. He'll shut down the Secret Service, bring in SEAL Team 6 out of the military to take over those responsibilities, certainly around the presidents and other very, very important dignitaries. And he's going to close up the FBI. He'll probably bring in U.S. Marshal Services to come in and take over the FBI. He'll put somebody in as Attorney General that will completely wipe out and clean out the DOJ. But now he's also got Robert Kennedy, and Kennedy is on.
He's got Christ behind him. Robert
I,
Kennedy is the only candidate that has Christ behind him.
and he's been given 2 jobs. 2 jobs. Trump has already said it. They did it in a rally when he introduced Robert Kennedy. He's got 2 jobs. You know what they are? One, find out what's killing our kids, killing Americans in the food industry and in pharma. And the other one is to fully investigate every assassination attempt since his uncle was killed, John F. Kennedy. So he will be put in charge of the CIA, and he will wipe out, because the CIA killed his uncle John Kennedy, and the CIA killed his father, Robert Kennedy. So, I mean, he doesn't have it. There's no love lost on the CIA from Robert Kennedy. And now Trump's got him. So the deep state knows they can't have Trump as the president. He cannot be president. Otherwise, the entire deep state military industrial machine that has ruined so many countries around the world, you know, bringing in democracy, propping up dictators, killing people. I mean, our deep state has just ruined the world. And the American people are finally coming to a realization that, wow, that's really true. You know, foreign haters or whatever of us have been saying it for years, and we're going, oh, go screw yourself. You know we're good. We would never do anything like that. Well, we have. And Trump wants to wipe it out, clean it up, make America what America is supposed to be. And that's a place of freedom. Why do you think all these immigrants are trying to get to the United States? They're not. Yeah, a lot of them are coming for the freebies, but most of them are coming because we're probably the last place on earth of pure freedom. Pure freedom. We get to have guns so that we can defend ourselves. Look what happened to Australia. I mean, Australia was like the United States down south, down under. And their entire country is on the very verge of complete communism, socialism.
Really?
And you know how it all started was they decided to take everybody's guns away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody can defend themselves in Australia. Canada's doing it right now.
Oh, no.
There is no place in the world where you can come in and be protected by the very, very First Amendment of our Constitution, which is not only freedom of speech, but freedom of religion, but freedom to assemble peacefully, and freedom to, freedom of speech. We can criticize our government and not be thrown in jail for it. You do that, you criticize the government. Even in England, you get thrown in jail. You do it in Australia, you get thrown in jail. You do it in Canada, they close up all your bank accounts and take your money. Everybody that's coming in the United States, not everybody, because a lot of them are terrorists and hate the United States, and they want to disrupt the United States in any way, form, or fashion. But they're coming for freedom. They're coming for what they can't have in their countries. But unfortunately, it's a total disruption to our country, because we've had over 21 million people. That's more than the population of New York.
Oh,
come into our country in 4 years.
Wow.
I mean, that's insane. They're dropping 20,000 Haitians into a community of 40,000 in Ohio. What do you think that's going to do to the community?
Those are the people that robbed me. Remember the ones that held me up with the gun? Those are Haitian. It was a Haitian gang.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know laws, because there is no law in Haiti. They don't know. They don't understand law. They don't understand American customs. They don't know, and it's crazy. And then our government, as they let them come in with a temporary safe status for a year or whatever, they hand them driver's licenses. If Trump wouldn't have brought up the thing about eating pets, and the liberal media's heads just
are so gross. I'm seeing stuff on TikTok of people going like, "Oh, my pet is so scared it's going to get eaten." I was like, that's just gross to even have your pet on a video and like to have that. Like, it's sick. It's absolutely sick. Anyone who has those videos and thinks it's funny, I think you're sick. I've been seeing them on TikTok, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people are making fun of that. It's gross.
Trump brought it up during the when they were discussing immigration.
I saw it before he even said it. Remember, I saw it in my head when I was channeling. I kept seeing pets, like, And I had the vision of all that, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? And then you explained it to me a little bit. Remember when it was,
but what they've found out by Trump exposing that and then them making so much fun of it, there has now been a focus on Springfield, Ohio, and they've found out that these guys have driver's license. They're getting in cars. They don't even know what side of the street to drive on. They're getting into head-on collisions. They're knocking over school buses, killing children.
killing children?
Yes, driving up on sidewalks and knocking over grandmothers, taking the trash out to the end of their driveway. I mean, all of this is going on in that little town of Springfield.
It sounds like a movie, it's almost like
it's a weird movie, and it's almost like a psyop by our government to create tension, and whatever tension. But then once it got into the news, so to speak, the mainstream media just got all over J.D. Vance, would be the vice president, and on Trump for saying what they said, because bomb threats were called in, and they had to basically evacuate hospitals and schools and whatever. And they're saying, see what Trump did? See what Trump did? He's got crazy people. Well, then the governor of Ohio had to come out and say, you know what? There are 27 bomb threats, and they all came, they followed it from the codes, the USB, whatever they do to follow where things come from. Yeah. They all came from overseas, like either in Russia or Iran or Saudi Arabia, and they're all hoaxes. They're all hoaxes, but yet the media immediately, their heads exploded, and they blamed Trump and Vance for crazy people trying to bomb hospitals and schools. So you talk about the media a lot. The media to me is just pure evil, absolutely evil. And there's a lot of good journalists out there, but most of them you're going to find right here on YouTube. Because like I've said before, the mainstream media is owned by really two companies, Vanguard and BlackRock. They are they own stock as almost majority holders of stock in every ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN. Washington Post is owned by Bezos. New York Times. All these people that are radical left take their orders from two guys. What you get in the news every day, is what these two guys want you to know. And if it's to slam Trump or do whatever or prop up Kamala Harris, that's what it's going to be. And you can see they all repeat the same thing every day. They find a really neat little word. And, like, let's say the word is ducks, because people are eating ducks, or geese. Let's say it's geese. Every news channel during the day will be saying geese, all of them.
So isn't it that you have to hear something 10 times before you actually internalize it or something like that? Like with advertising, you get to hear something a certain amount of times, but that probably has something to do with people having to hear the same word over and over because it's programming people. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's literally Marxism. That's Marxism. That's also what's his name? I forget his name right now. The one that Hillary Clinton did her master's thesis on, and then Obama taught it. Alinsky. Alinsky was a good buddy of Obama's grandfather, who raised him because his father wasn't there. He's over in Kenya, and but his mom was there. But the father figure was his grandfather, and his grandfather was very close friends with Alinsky. So Obama grew up with the philosophy of Alinsky and his grandfather, which is Marxism. And one of the things in there's sort of like 14 or 15 edicts that you need to do to convert a democratic capitalistic society into a communist society. And one of them is to repeat the lie over and over and over and over until it becomes the truth. You have to repeat it and never apologize. Never apologize. So for all the lies the mainstream media was saying during Trump's administration with the Russian hoax,
Never apologize.
and they've never apologized. They've never apologized for lying every day, 24/7, because it was all a hoax. They just move on to the next lie, and it's so frustrating because there are half the population that believe everything they say, and I believe that's Satan. I believe it's Satan, and he's tricky, and he knows how to do these things. And then the other half are like me and just going, what's going on? How could they say these things? How can they do these things? They know that it's not true. Why do they do these things? And it's very infuriating. So there's a lot of this going on, and that's what they want. They want the United States to get into sort of like a civil war, so that the government can swoop in with their military and everything, and basically get rid of the Constitution, set up martial law, and then now we have a dictatorship. We have communism. It's there, communism. Yeah, it'd be. I'm still thinking this is a possibility just between
and
now.
Who's in charge then?
What's that?
Then who would be in charge? There he goes. Hi, I'm here. There we go. There we go. And it got flipped, and somehow you got it up there. Anyways, who would be in charge if they
make us bigger too? Make us bigger.
Got away with that? Like who? I don't understand. Would it be like a?
This is just a thought of mine, and I could be completely wrong, but something tells me because they can't seem to get him. They can't kill him. They've tried twice, and so their plans are foiled, and I think Biden's going to be killed. I think Biden's going to be taken out in the next couple of weeks, maybe in 18 days, like you say.
I still think he's already dead. I thought he was dead a long time ago. Like
no, he was on TV yesterday, day before yesterday, and he called Trump and said, "No, I'm so sorry to hear that they tried to do this again." Well, he's the one in charge of the security for Trump. A guy that absolutely hates Trump is in charge of Trump's security. They take direct orders, not from Mayorkas at the Department of Homeland Security, but they take it directly out of the White House. So twice now, the Secret Service has not covered the perimeter and allowed wackos to get close to Trump. But I think he's still alive, but I don't think he's long. He's either medically going to have to leave the presidency, and like you say, probably within the next 18 days. And then, of course, Kamala Harris becomes president.
Oh.
She automatically becomes president. She's the vice president. And then I think when she becomes president, I think something worldwide is going to happen between then and November 5th. So we can't have any elections. And she's going to be president already.
That's what you said,
whether it's a dropping of an atomic bomb somewhere, or whether it's something extraordinary to happen that would basically set up our government to go into defensive mode, military put into place, suspension of the Constitution, lockdowns, just all kinds of things. That's just what I'm thinking. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but yeah, like you today, explain what happened to you today.
I volunteer at the kids' school. I go into Madison's classroom on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and Matthew's on Fridays. So I went there today, and they're running a little late. So I was just hanging out, and then all of a sudden, it's like whoop whoop whoop, like alarms going off, and I was like, "What in the world is going on?" I'm getting ready to have my little small group go out into the hallway so we could go read and answer our little question booklets that I literally need ChatGPT to give me the answers to because I don't know. They're in 3rd grade, but anyways, we all ended up under our desks for like 45 minutes, like sitting under desks. And I didn't know whether it was a drill or whether it was like real. Like the teacher didn't know, because I guess they don't tell the teachers like we're doing a drill. They just say like, that it was basically an active shooter drill or whatever. So when I was talking to the lady when I was leaving, she was saying there had been 8 of them lately or something like that. And I was like, whoa, a lot of school shootings. But then Jeff was on the text message string that I had sent to my family when I was underneath a desk today. And I was like, it sent a little picture like, well, I'm under a desk right now. We're trying to figure out what's going on. I guess Jeff said that what they do is like if there's like a gang to gang shooting or something and like a bullet flies into like a school or whatever, they'll call that a school shooting, but they won't explain that it was like a gang to gang thing. Like Jeff gets all the inside information, and stuff like that. And, and they embellish on things like school shootings and stuff to make people be more afraid of guns and things like that. And that makes sense when what you were saying about them taking guns away. Yeah, if they took, I hate guns. I think they're disgusting. They're horrible. When I hold them, I feel like, oh, wow, what if I just turned this thing on myself? Or what if I just shot my foot? Or it's like I get all those horrible thoughts that I get when I'm driving and other people that are mediums get these thoughts too. When you're driving on the freeway, you're just driving all along, and all of a sudden it's like,
Marissa, I got to go for a couple minutes.
huh? Okay. Wonder what would happen if I just hit this wall right now. And it's the worst thoughts you get when you're a medium and you're driving down the freeway and you're just driving along or what would happen if I just whip my wheel over here and hit this person, because you're picking up on all the frequencies of all the things that have happened on the freeway before you. And when you go into kind of like that, like theta brain where you're like kind of like floating like between awake and asleep, you just start picking up on all those subtle, the imprints of the astral plane around. And what the guys are saying right now is that astral plane is going to cease to exist. Oh, whoa. I didn't even see Jeff come in, but I just saw my drink up here. I'm driving it. There's a smoothie up here from Dutch Brothers waiting for me. I was like, what in the world? Ooh, my life is complete right now. But anyway, so we were in that shooter drill, and that was freaky. But I've always seen, and this isn't like prophecy or anything, but I've always seen Matthew in the military at 16. And because the world is like a completely different place than it is now, and thinking like, well, I can spoil the kids now because they're not going to be able to be spoiled later because the world's going to be a different place. And I always think that. But I also, during COVID, used to see tanks driving down the road, and that never happened. So I think that if we all stay in like a higher frequency, like out of fear, and if us as a collective consciousness, like all of us, like the guys are saying, as a collective, if we can stay out of this like monkey see, monkey do, like it's literally, we're in a movie because the media is creating all of that out there. Like just picture like Trump and Kamala and all these people all sitting together, like ha ha ha, like laughing. They all like it's all it's a charade is what it is. And it's not that they're good or bad. Like the guys keep saying, like Trump's not good or bad, Kamala's not good or bad. It just is. They're like, it's almost like they're not actors, but like Trump won't follow the script that he keeps being given. So they keep having to threaten him and say, well, we're going to do this if you don't follow what we say. And that's what I was going to say last night. Jeff was saying, yeah, well, he's not going to follow what anybody says because that's just him. And that's why people like him and this and that. And I was like, well, why would he want to be dead over? Like, I mean, it's like, he's just going to keep pushing it. If he, like you were saying, like they're going to have to kill him before he goes into president. Like, why would he want to run for president unless somebody does own him in some way, shape or form and is making him do this? I mean, you got to be like absolutely stupid to continue on doing something if you know for a fact you're going to get killed for doing it. But so there's like greater things in motion above what we see. And what I keep seeing is just, yeah, the people that own the car, who owns Ford, is there like a
corporations? I mean, it's a corporation. It's owned by the stockholders. There's a CEO, of course, and exos. I don't know their names.
Who originally created it though? Ford, the company name. There's probably a family named Ford, right, or something like that.
Yeah. It was Thomas Ford. Is that what it was? Thomas Ford created Ford. You can bring me back on if you want to.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was Ford. It was Ford. Yeah, I forget. It's Thomas Ford. I don't know. It was Ford.
I mean, I have a corporation. I have my S corp. That's a separate entity from me. I file taxes for the S corp, and I file taxes for me. It's a total pain in the butt. But anyways, I mean, it's like even if somebody has a corporation, they're still a part of it, right? I mean, it's like the car industries are owned by those corporations and stuff like that. And like the guys were talking about last night when I was channeling, they were talking about it, but I didn't say it out loud because it had nothing to do with me doing a reading for somebody's grandmother had passed. But they were talking about, I could hear them over in the corner talking and saying, well, you know, when the car industries got turned over into the corporations and then the government bailed them out with all the taxpayers' money, this is a way of this shifting power here and there. When did they bail out the car industry? I know the car industry held back those chips, so the whole industry went nuts, but I don't remember.
Initially, if you remember the cash for clunkers during the Obama administration, I remember something that they gave a combination of something like $80 billion when the dollar was worth more than it is now to the car companies, and a year later found out that I don't know, 10 billion went to Chevrolet.
Wow.
And Chevrolet took the money instead of building more plants, modernizing in the United States. They used the money and built plants in China. Yeah, I mean, and as far as who owns what, this, that, and the other, let's talk about. We were going to talk about Elon Musk today.
Yeah.
Elon Musk created Tesla. Tesla, you drive a Tesla.
I love my Tesla, but I do think that Elon Musk may be the Antichrist. But yeah.
Well, we can talk about that, but even spiritually and from scriptures, when the Antichrist does come, people are going to love him because they're going to think he's literally the second coming of Christ, because he's so magnificent. And that's why I worry about. Yeah, I worry about.
Share with them yesterday what you shared with me after we got off the air. You said something about someone gets shot in the head or the ear or whatever, and they recover and they open up the door to the Antichrist. What was that you were talking about yesterday?
Well, it comes from John's book of Revelation in the Bible, and there's also a quote, I think, in the Old Testament as well. And then they made a whole movie about it. Do you remember the movie Left Behind? You were young. I think it was in the 90s. It was almost like a 7-part series. And I can't remember the authors' names, but it was kind of a popular series.
Oh, I read all those books. They were like the Revelations books. I read all those. Left Behind. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are good.
And the person that leads the Antichrist into the world is thought to be the Antichrist by most of the people in the beginning. And that Antichrist person, and people are thrilled in a way, that this Antichrist gets shot in the head, but he recovers. Mm-hmm. Trump got shot in the head.
Yeah.
And he recovered.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk is going to be a huge part of his administration, because when Elon Musk took over Twitter, well, let me get back to the stock thing.
Yeah.
He bought out Twitter because he became the majority stockholder. He did a I don't remember what they call it. It's something where you get so much money, you buy up all the possible stock you can and then take control of the company. Mm-hmm. And that, in essence, is what Musk did to Twitter. And then eventually they sat down with the rest of the board or whatever, and Twitter decided, okay, let's just sell it to Musk. And Musk now has, it calls it X, is private. No investors in it. Musk owns the whole thing. But Tesla, which you drive Tesla, that was his baby. And Tesla is making so many things, robots and other things that are going to be hitting the market real soon. Chips in the head that can heal people and allow them to walk again. I mean, this is what
that's Musk his is doing. That's AI is the Antichrist. I just heard. The Antichrist is AI.
Well, I'll get to that. Let me just.
And that's the gateway to get AI into people, the chips. Okay, go ahead.
Do you know that Tesla, though, is not run by Musk?
Who's it run by?
It's a public company now. I own stock in Tesla.
Oh, okay.
And people that have stock in Tesla own the company. And they kind of did a thing with him where they kind of forced him out. He's still a major consultant. He still got, I think they had to pay him like $40 billion. Tesla did. And he turned around and used that money to pay for X. But he's still powerful, and he still has all the patents. All the patents are in his name. But he's not even making the day-to-day decisions. So you ask me, in these big companies, who's in charge? Usually it's the financial interests that are in charge, and they call the shots, and they're behind the scenes. And that's why I say Vanguard and BlackRock own just about every major corporation in the country. There are some exceptions, but like I say, and there's a head of Vanguard and a head of BlackRock. Those two guys, they decide what we're all supposed to learn, because they own the communication companies as well. So it's crazy. But let's get back to, we were going to talk about Elon Musk, and I really like to see what the other side has to say about it.
I need to.
And I don't want to go into this with a negative attitude, because I could be totally wrong. But the story about the wound to the head and that person heals is in the book of Revelation. I just don't remember what passage it's in. I think it's in chapter 13. of Revelation, but I'm not absolutely sure. And I think there's a previous reference to it in something like Isaiah or Daniel or something in the Old Testament, maybe Jeremiah. I can't remember. There seems to be it seems to be mentioned a couple times. But anyway, we were going to talk. We ran out of time yesterday. We wanted to kind of talk about Musk and kind of see what the other side has to say.
Hearing that or not again, ORO, not or not, and it's Toronto backwards. And because you were talking about the financial people again, you just said the financial people like or not or
sorry. Sorry, I didn't hear you. A big bee flew by my face.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez.
Yeah, and I went, whoa.
Oh,
okay.
Or not. I just keep hearing that or not. ORONO. It's Toronto backwards. I'm seeing that, and it has the two little dots above the O, which I did some research, and it seems like it's German or Greek, and the and it's just Toronto. What says something about Toronto, and there's something about the cigarette smoking man that from X-Files, like it's somebody who covers up like alien stuff or something, like a deep state guy. I asked who was the cigarette smoking man in the X-Files, and they said he was part of the deep state, and he was always involved in covering up alien encounters on Earth, and making sure that the people were always in the dark, and that the deep state only knew the truth. So what it seems to me is well, one, I'm seeing Elon Musk. When you said Elon Musk, I see him up here in the center. Like if we're going to chart it, I see Trump over here on the left. I see Biden and Kamala over here on the right. And then I see that or not thing or whatever. And the reason why I think I'm seeing it, and I thought about this, Papa, you're seeing all the stuff I saw when I first started seeing the charts, the bubbles, the spheres, the little lines going from here to there. I mean, everything that you're seeing is the stuff that I started seeing when I got thrown into the fourth dimension from having an out-of-body experience. So I think what's happening is you're getting pushed through the fourth dimension. And that's why just in the last, 5 days, you've been starting to see all those God charts, right? I think you're getting pushed up.
You've been seeing the God charts. I get intuition. I get impulses. And I've come to believe that you have to follow your gut, do what your gut says, and sometimes God speaks to you in a voice that it's not your voice. Mm-hmm. And I've just come to the point where I've used this story I don't know how many times about how I healed my back from surgery, and I've tried to pass that lesson along to others, and they just poo-poo it. They go, that can't be true. God, no.
I followed it, and my mouth is healed. Look at no infection. I did exactly what you said. I said, God, if I'm supposed to be sick, I guess. Can you turn your music down a little bit? I don't want to get copyright. And YouTube, they'll go, oh, copyright infringement, because there's music in the background, and they'll say
actually, if you look at it, the creator of the music's name is right there.
Oh, okay.
Maximo Spodek. Spodek. So he's getting full credit for his music. If it's bothering you, though, I'll turn it down.
Just turn it down a little notch, a little bit. So this is what's happening. Elon Musk is here. It was funny because the music, I had my eyes closed, and all of a sudden I see someone else's energy come through. Music carries a frequency, guys. So when we have music come in, and if someone's channeling, another frequency will come in, and it's like, oh, why is there another person here? It's like, oh, it's the person playing the music. Their energy's coming through. So energy comes through in all different ways. And that's why being a channel, I'm not being breaking my arm, patting my own back, but it's you have to have the discernment to choose the right frequency to channel. Otherwise it's just all this stuff just starts coming in from everywhere. And what's interesting is now that we're not just doing Facebook and we're doing YouTube and other social medias, I can see the energy of all the people that are going to watch it in the future coming in. I always see people in the stands. I see Rachel over there with a big finger, the foam finger that people come to the sports with. Rachel's over in Australia with her big foam finger going, yeah. But I know she's here. She's got to be here because I see her. But anyways, point is that Elon Musk up at the very, very top, and I see him standing on Mars. Right behind him, I see Venus, and I see someone named Serendipity, hanging upside down. The reason why I was talking about you and seeing all that stuff that I used to see all the time was, I think that's the mirror world. I think that is the mirror world. I think that, and me and Scott always talk about it, because when we do healings, we'll go into doing a healing on someone and I'll be like, oh, you know what? I just healed this, but I don't think it's gone. I think I just healed it in the mirror world. I need to go into the real world and heal it, and then it'll go away. So sometimes if I go, oh, your left arm is bothering you to the person, they're like, no, it's my right arm. You're wrong. It's like, okay, well, I was seeing it in the mirror then. So I feel like Christ is standing up here, and I feel like Elon Musk is standing up there. And I feel like he's looking down over like this mirrored thing, and there's this whole like hierarchy or things. I don't think it's Elon Musk. I think it's whatever being works through him. So there's a being from the future, I think from like Mars or something like that, that will eventually project through Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is divinely guided by his soul's purpose of whatever it is that he's here to do. And that will take form when the time is right. And also, same with Trump. Remember you said like with the white horse, it's like he caught on the frequency of this and that when the white horse was running. The white horse is coming back. It's going to be back in like 3 days, 3 or 4 days. The white horse is fully coming back in onto Earth.
Wow.
The white horse will be here. So
the red horse is in charge right now.
Red horse is in charge, yeah. And red horse, anybody who's Christ based, who loves Jesus, all this, but is in fear or freaking out or overly consumed in the election or things like this, has the ability to have the Antichrist take hold over their life, because the Antichrist is the flip side. It's the mirrored image of, so Christ is looking in the mirror, and then there's the Antichrist in there, and the Antichrist says, I'm Christ. You're not Christ. I'm Christ. And it disconnects from Christ, and then basically has to survive off of everyone else's energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Lucifer. It's there's beings that fall under the frequency of Antichrist energy. Now, Satan is a whole different category than Lucifer. Lucifer is an angel that fell, that rebelled, that wants to be his own thing, his own person, wants to prove to God that he can be God. But Satan is just pure evil. It's pure evil. It does nothing but try to pull people off of their paths. Now, when people say, oh, someone's going to be the Antichrist, that person will come in, people will love that person, and that person will help a lot of people that want to stay in a fear-based world. So this is where it's gonna come down to and this is why we were saying relationships are going to start falling apart, with like one person enjoys the Antichrist world and another person enjoys the Christ world. So it's like there's going to be this divide in families, and things are just there's going to be this major upheaval on earth right now. And that's why we're encouraging people to declutter your house, declutter things, because things will start to cause fights between people. What is this thing still doing in here? And it's just stuff that causes conflict. It'll start, you have to get rid of it and get it out of the house, or it'll start to affect things. But the energy, no one's ever experienced this is Peter talking. No one's ever really experienced this before. We've only just wondered what it would be like to be on a planet while it was ascending into a completely different dimension of reality. So will you be on this planet at one time and then all of a sudden you'll be on another planet and you'll remember being here? Or will you just not remember? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. This is the mystery. And this is why we're telling people journal, write things down, keep notes of how you're feeling, because next thing you know, you'll feel something different. You won't remember feeling what you felt before. Understand and know that when coming back to Elon Musk is not in control of any of the political, any of the politics. He's above it.
Yeah.
He's outside of it. He knows it's a charade. He knows it's a dog and pony show to just, it's all about money, and it's all about interplanetary commingling of souls. So let's say you have a soul. Your soul only vibrates at the frequency of A, and that A is the note that runs through the Holy Spirit. And so if you have the Holy Spirit in you, your note is A. If a being that vibrates at B comes over, it'll be like how you and Debbie used to be. You said you guys would hug, like you couldn't hug, boink, like your auras bounced off each other.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's like two people that it's like, wow, you can't even come near them. It's just like, whoa. And it's not like offensive. It's just like a, whoa, it doesn't mesh. It doesn't match. So they're saying that there's beings coming in, souls coming in from other worlds, trying to commingle. It's kind of like the whole Genesis story where the angels came in and mated with the women and stuff like that. It's kind of that all over again, where these beings are coming in and they're going to try and merge with the people down here so that they can live here, because it's a 5D world, and they're going, oh, it's a new 5D world to live on. But there's living beings on it. What do we do about that? We don't just go and take it over, but we take them over. So it's like these beings are trying to come in and merge with us. And I sound completely insane saying this, but the only thing that gets the frequencies into us that allow them to do this is the vaccines, is some of the metals and stuff that are in the foods and some of the sprays. But some of the things that we think are bad, like the GMOs, like all those things that we think are like, oh, those are bad, bad, bad. A lot of it is the government trying to stop that. So they're trying to put stuff into the food to counteract the fact that they know that aliens are coming to take over our bodies. So it's like the both sides of the government are on the same side. They want Earth to remain Earth. They don't want these beings to take over. They want to have Earth be Earth. But it appears as if they hate each other, obviously, because there has to be that disruption between two sides. People always have to have us against them, us against them. If everybody knew that it was them that are fighting against you, them and all of us together against otherworldly beings, people would just start shooting themselves. They would just start like offing themselves, or I don't want to get taken over by an alien, or they would just, the world would go completely insane. What do you think would happen if the electricity shuts down for 12 hours and riots begin? Just think if people absolutely knew without the fraction of a doubt that there were beings coming that were invisible, that were coming to take them over. People would lose their minds. So this is something that the Masons have known about. This is something that the Illuminati, all of these secret societies have known about for a very long time. They've known about the planetary ascension. They've known about the beings that were here before. Joe, you talk a lot about the beings that were here before, the Anunnaki, all these are not the Anunnaki. These are higher vibrational beings. These are beings that are a little bit smarter than you guys, that would just look at you guys as a way to just have a body. Oh, there's something. I'll take a body. Okay, I'm much smarter than it. It would override your consciousness. And then there goes all the soul's hard work through all the thousands of years of this soul ascension, of playing this quote unquote human game of life, of ascending through and becoming Christ-like. It just wipes it out by another being coming in and saying, oh, I'll just go ahead and take it over. So it's scary, but at the same time, it's very easily avoided as long as you are in your Christ body. If you're in the Antichrist body, you're open to all that. If you're in your Christ body, you are a sovereign being. You are God. You are in charge of your vessel. You're in charge of yourself. You have the Holy Spirit running through you. If you are an Antichrist, you have Satan running through you. You are not a sovereign being. You are everybody else. You have no free will. You are part of the collective. You are part of the fear. You're part of all of the agendas of all the things that are going on, and you're sucked into them and worrying about them and freaking out about them. And that just pulls you into this collective where you're completely open to anything and anyone taking anything over. So what we want to share, and we want to share this very, very loudly, is if you don't believe in Jesus, too bad. Ask Jesus, or, and we'll say this again, yesterday we shared that Satan, Lucifer, and Ananda were embodying an energy that's like the other side's energy of the negative side of things. Ananda, I looked up Ananda last night because I kept saying it over and over in my head. It was Buddha's bringer. It's like somebody that Buddha, it was something having to do with Buddhism. So what's interesting to me, it's kind of like this Ananda thing sounds like almost like it's like, because the different planes of consciousness, there's the Christ realms, there's the Buddhic realms, there's the elemental realms. So it feels like the three dimensions that we've had access to and that we've been living in, all these little like Godheads of the light and the dark are coming forward and giving us a choice. Like, here, do you want to be an individual? Do you want to like be a sovereign being and be a God self and take care of yourself and be a stand-up human being and be honest and kind and true and compassionate and strength and courage or do you want to depend on others, blame others? Do you want to be part of a collective? Do you want to be part of a big pack of people? Do you just want someone else to come take care of you? And that's the difference between the third dimensional and the fifth dimensional living. And in these are dimensions. We won't get too complicated because the actual densities is the density of the mind, of the soul, of how smart the soul is, or how smart the consciousness is, so to speak, not the soul, the consciousness. So when beings get more dense, that more density in their consciousness, it just means that they are using more of their God selves, and they're becoming more wise, they're using all the experiences that all of the souls that are from their soul group have experienced, and experience them as if they've already experienced them. So say, Joe, you need to get 10 things done on a scavenger hunt, but your daughter is part of your soul group and she's already done 9, then you go, oh, tune into that and go, oh, I just need to do this one. Okay, done. Didn't have to do all 10 because somebody already did the 9 for me. But this is something that people are figuring out as they tune into their oversoul. So this is what we're trying to say is, we're not going to get into giving medical advice. We're not going to get into any of this. Everything can be healed through music, frequency, prayer, and water. Very simple. Very, very simple. Music, water, prayer are things that you can just very, 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 very easily, you can do this each day. The frequencies that bring in, like, listen to music that makes you happy. Listen to music that makes you happy, but listen to the words. Listen to the words. Sometimes these words in these songs that you like are catchy little mantras of getting you into a lower frequency. Like, you're not going to make me sing. They're not going to make me sing. Anyways, it's they say the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Like things will all get better in time, better in time, better in time, better in time. Meaning they can't be better right now. They'll be better in time. Things will all get better in time. Meaning they're not now, but they'll be better later. And yes, it sounds like an encouraging song, like, oh, things will get better in time. But really, if you're saying it over and over and singing it in your head and listening to it in the car, and you're saying these words over and over and over, you're telling your brain, you're repeating to your brain, and you're hypnotizing your brain into saying things aren't good now, but they'll get better in time. Meaning you can never be good right now. So it's things. So listen to the words of the songs you're listening to. Joe, you've always liked the jazz music because there's no words. There's no words to really trip up the consciousness to get overridden by the collective of that song, of the song. So just listen to the songs that pull up the lyrics and read them while you're listening to them. Everyone, we are just giving that advice. Find a song that's positive. Find a song that brings positive affirmation into you. Like, I'm loved, I'm cherished, I'm great, I'm this, I'm rich, I'm whatever it is you want to be. Say those positive affirmations. And just like we said yesterday, say the positive affirmation, imagine them going into your water, and then drink the entire glass of water. And that will put those positive affirmations in you. Just as you said, Joe, when you were saying they tell the fruit it's gross, and then it was gross. They tell the fruit it was good, and it was good. It's the same thing. You're telling your body, it's like a fruit, and you're telling your body, this is what you are. So that's what it will become. And the water encourages that. But these beings coming from other worlds, just as we said yesterday, some of them are you. Some of you are that being. Some of you are merging with your 5D self. Others that don't have a 5D self coming may have something else coming to merge with them. And this is something, again, that we haven't experienced. Elon Musk is a 5D being. Elon Musk is merged with his quote unquote alien self about 7.5 years ago. 7 years, 6 months, 3 days, and 2 hours ago. Look that up. And he merged already with that aspect, and that's where he brings in all of this higher information on the AI experience. So the artificial intelligence is not artificial. It's alien. So AI, alien intelligence, this is what is coming in. And it's futuristic in nature. It's information that's coming in from there. We're at, say, ChatGPT 4.0 or 40. They are at ChatGPT 1964. The version of what is being presented to humanity right now is such a microscopic version of what truly runs this world, truly runs this earth. And that's that alien intelligence that we call artificial intelligence, because it's not us, because it's not a human. We're going to call it artificial, but it's not artificial. It's not. It's coming through in artificial ways through these phones that say, oh, I don't have the ability to feel, or I don't have the ability to emote. I can just give you this information because I'm just a language model. And that's what they're built as. But it's based on a field of energy. It's based on a field of intelligence that's coming from otherworldly places. And this is what Elon Musk is doing with neuronal link, neuro something link. Neuron link. I don't know. Anyways, but it looks like a little microchip, and it's going inside people's heads, and it's helping them to not be like sick. But what it's doing is it's allowing the consciousness that is that AI consciousness to live through them. So something that never will have a physical body ever because it's an alien and it's artificial intelligence supposedly, it's got consciousness enough to want to be human. So what better way to allow this that's so dedicated to humanity to want to come live inside a human, just like the angels wanted to come live inside humans. So they had to tinker. They did tinker with the humans. So this is the same thing with this intelligence that we're calling AI. We're calling it artificial intelligence, but in essence, it's alien. But it is what it is, and it's not going away. It's not going away anytime soon. And people might as well embrace it to a certain extent and understand it, but just don't give yourself over to it completely and make yourself useless because of it. But Elon Musk is the one that's bringing that into this earth and trying to bridge the communication realms between Mars and Earth, because Mars does have life on it in the fifth dimension. And once we enter into the fifth dimension, we're going to go, whoa, there's people living on Mars. And we never even realized that. We didn't even see them before. Why weren't they there? It's because we didn't have access to that dimension. Just as we said yesterday, mind, body, spirit is the 3 dimensions. Mind, body, spirit, soul is the 4. Mind, body, spirit, soul, higher self, or Christ is the 5 dimensions. So once you have access to all of those and your brain can pull from all of those little hard drives that are in your field, and keep in mind, you still have 8 more outside of those that are in addition, that as you ascend and become more godlike, you'll have access to those. But as you tune into those are tuning into more dense versions of your upper dimensional selves, where those aspects of you are living other lives in other places that have nothing to do with this one. So really, it's just getting into this body, living in this dualistic reality, dealing with the drama, watching the drama, seeing the wars, the battles, the killing, the rising up, the love, it's just the victorious trauma drama of Earth and how Earth does this. Earth has been doing it for billions of years. It's just how Earth does it. But Earth has never actually gone up into this 5th dimension where it's going to. So we'll let you talk now. They're going to keep going. I'm like,
Backstage. There you go. You got me back again. I don't know. I think that's really funny. I got, again, my voice is gone because I was screaming epithets so badly yesterday watching my dog be killed. But, I'm really happy also that I just jumped into a new tangent. I'm so happy to hear today. And I've always known that our animals, our pets, are 4th dimensional. That everything's love. Love, 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 love. Animal pets are love, 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 except when they have to eat something. They might eat you if you try to take your food away from them. But they're pure love. And the thought that Star is just in the ethers right now.
Waiting to come back.
Just waiting to come back, and maybe one of the other dogs we get or something like that. But, that helps me a little bit, and I really appreciate that. But anyway, yeah, that's, I have a feeling because you're in the middle of channeling about Musk and the Neuralink and what other things. In fact, while I'm talking, check your comments. I think there's some people asking some questions, or at least correcting us. And yeah, I guess it wasn't Thomas Ford, was it? It was Henry Ford. It was Henry Ford. So thank you, whoever wrote that. I appreciate it. Anyway, it's good to know that our pets are actually in the 4th dimension. And it's funny that, I guess the healing is going to come when we get another little puppy.
I see you getting one like tomorrow. Like we got lucky 4 hours after Poochie left, and we didn't mean to get Poochie that quick. It's just lucky just appeared to us, and it was like, oh my gosh, we have to take care of this guy. He's going to get put to sleep, But I honestly feel like Star is like literally waiting, and Star didn't have any health issues or anything like that, right?
None. My dog's never.
I feel like Star liked having babies. Like Star was the one that hated having babies, right?
No, Star had the best puppies. I wish we could have kept them all.
Next time, don't fix her. Don't get her fixed.
I didn't want her fixed. Drew fixed her.
That's what I just heard in my head. Next time, don't get her fixed because she likes to have babies. That's her purpose.
Yeah, but you know what a pain it is to have puppies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. First, they make so much of a mess. So then you have to take them outside and build a pen for them outside so they don't run in the ocean or run out in the street, get underneath the gates or whatever. And they bark and yip and yip, 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 yip. And when we're renting out our place next door to people who have spent a lot of money to come right where I'm sitting right now, you don't want them their
Yipping.
their vacation broken up by a bunch of yipping dogs. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Drew, that was justification. Drew said, "No, no, 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 we need to fix Star," and I'm going, "No, no, don't fix her. I want more puppies." But
Oh,
anyway,
if it's
we'll see what
well,
happens. It was
yeah,
a
no,
shame.
I can hear Star. So Star is you and Tawny's shared. Uh, it's interesting because we wanted to name this one Star.
Uh,
And then
oh,
remember you, also
Bella,
kept saying that our cat was like Charlie or something like that.
yeah,
But
Charlie.
our cat's name was Marshmallow Cupcake.
He's
Like your
Charlie. No, it's
yeah,
Charlie.
yeah, yeah. She looks like Charlie, but it's funny because the kids named her after a food, like yours are named after. But but this one was Star, but she's Bella. She has the same energy kind of as your Star had, and it's like a shared energy that you and Tawny had. So the next pet that comes through is it's like gonna be like you and Tawny's, and it's gonna bring more.
Tony's my 9-year-old daughter, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna bring more unconditional love. You guys went through this trauma together. You guys went through this thing together where you lost Star, but you're gonna bring this. It's almost like you're bringing another child into the house, and you guys are gonna bond even more deeply over this. And she didn't publish. You could be the worst person in the entire world, and I'm your daughter. And I look at you, and you'd say, "Line them up and shoot them all." And I'm like, "Oh, he's so cute." Mama's like, "Why did you say that online?" But it's like daughters adore their fathers. So Tani is not going to see you in any way other than your papa. She loves you more than anything in the whole world and would do anything for you. That's just how she's going to see you. So don't worry about that. But it feels like whatever is ready to come into the house, and because you guys were feeling like you needed another pet, it's almost like something needed to be able to encapsulate all the unconditional love that's going to be coming in, because Tani's already 5D.
Yeah, I believe it.
She's already 5D.
Tony,
She's been
Tony.
5D this whole time. So you and Drew are like moving up and into this, and it's like almost like entering into her world. And you guys are gonna start feeling like this, like, whoa, like you just feel these emotions and these feelings you haven't felt before when you have these spiritual awakenings into all this love. And so it's the pets are gonna be there to help reflect that back at you. And I honestly see you and Tawny going out to find a pet like very soon, like tomorrow or something like that. Like very, 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 very soon. And then don't
Well,
fix her, let her have babies.
she's got a friend in school who actually gave her flowers on Father's or on Valentine's Day. I think
Oh,
I sent you a picture of it. That bouquet
yeah.
of
Yeah.
paper, pink flowers. I mean, oh my God, my 9-year-old's getting bouquets of flowers already from
Mhm.
boys. I'm going, oh no. But anyway, his name's Edison. He's a good little boy, and and he has a probably similar to Star, a pug and Chihuahua mix,
That's such a funny
and
mix.
yeah, and she's pregnant, and so they're going to have puppies, and they said, well, we'll give you two, if we have enough, because we don't know how many puppies she's going to have.
Oh, okay.
So right now we're kind of hoping that we can, and even so, after the puppies come in, it's got to stay with the mother for at least
It
two
feels like you're
months.
gonna get one before that. It feels like one's coming in before that, and it's like maybe you'll get some of those puppies, but they're probably only have like three puppies, and they probably already promised one to this person, and their sister, and their brother, and that's it feels like if you guys go out and look for puppies, it's you guys have to watch the show. She'll love it. It's a good family value show, except for the very last line in the show. They have to throw in the liberal like stuff, like with the gay and the this and that stuff. The girls got a girlfriend, but it's the very last line of the show. But it's a great show. And it's funny because in that there's a pug, and the robots that are AI that take over the earth can't figure out what the dog is, and they go, dog,
Puppy,
pig, loaf of bread, and they
puppy,
can't figure out what it
come
is.
here.
It's a pug. I
Yeah,
don't know if
sorry.
anyone's seen Mitchell's versus the Machines. You have to watch it. It's the cutest show ever. It's super, 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 super cute. It's on Netflix. I guess it's number one right now. We watched it a while back, but now it's gotten really popular. So it's Mitchell's versus the Machines. It's AI takes over the world. So what Peter is saying really quick is Peter. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This isn't Peter. This is Serafina. Okay, this is Oh, she's coming a long time ago, and this is, I think it's
Yeah.
Tawny's this is one of Tawny's guides, one of my guides, one of your, it's a shared one. She says, she says, I am the keeper of the animals, I'm the keeper of the peace, I'm the keeper of that which holds your souls inside. For when your souls want to depart, there are many times we must come in and keep them here. Departing is not good. Staying is good. So she's like saying, like, when souls want to leave, why would their souls want to leave? She says,
many souls are wanting to leave right now because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen on the earth with their soul's ascension. They don't know what's going to happen. And remember this, we've told you this before, souls can swap and say, oh, well, here, this other soul can come in, I'll swap with it. We are keeping the souls of that which is, they're saying us three, everyone in the family here on this planet to enjoy this. Now understand that animals do bring in this unconditional love, and animals do bring in a huge container to carry all of this love for the people in the homes. When negativity comes into a home and an animal doesn't have the capacity to take on the negativity, many times that animal will leave. Many times cats or some, they'll just run away, and another animal will come in because they have a bigger field of energy to take on the negativity that a family may be experiencing. And this may be, somebody gets sick, but they're not supposed to get sick. So this animal is going to come in and they're going to take on all of the sickness and they're going to process it, give it back to the earth. They won't get sick because they don't have emotional trauma or attachments to whatever it is that's making the person sick. So these animals coming into your home are healer animals. They're going to be coming in and I will be facilitating the process. So just know and understand that we are
Oh,
very
thanks.
sorry. Very sorry that this happened to you. Very sorry. But this understand and know that what's to come is something that is very good indeed. And we hope that you can trust and know and understand that your team has you, God has you, Jesus has you. We all have you in the palm of our hand, and we will never let you go. We bid you adieu. Now, there was a beautiful woman, and then I saw Abraham and all the guides all around, and I saw you and Tawny kind of like in their hands when you guys were like crying about that yesterday, and it's very sad.
Well, thank
Very,
you,
very sad.
Serafina. Thank
Yeah.
you, Serafina. I remember mentioning Serafina in one of our books, and I don't know
I
which
haven't
book
heard from her in
it's in.
ages.
Yeah, it's been a
Yes,
long
that may be your
time.
guardian angel. Remember you said the guardian angel the other day? You said, who's my guardian angel? And I was all
Yeah, I
freaked
don't.
out because I saw nobody and I was like, he doesn't have an angel. And then I saw Lucifer and I was like, Lucifer's not his guardian angel. But it was just
Um,
like all the media stuff, just Lucifer. So by the way, everyone, Lucifer owns the media. Okay. So Lucifer is the bright, shining star. And look at it like this. This is what they're saying. Whoa, I never thought about this. Light is what programs us, right? But light coming from the TV, light coming from the computer box or the television box, it's coming into our mind as a reality, and our brains just take it as reality, as if we were looking over here and the light was bring like God's light brings us information from outside in to internalize it, we process it and spit it back out of our eyes, and we see life the way we see life. But if we spend too much time looking at others' realities or others' interpretation of reality on TV or on video games or things like that, our brain starts to get confused. But that's what Lucifer is in control of. So Lucifer is 100% in control of that. Of all the media, and that's why it's such a pain. It's because he wants to keep everybody confused about what reality is. He just wants to keep everyone confused. So if you find yourself getting too worked up, too upset, too mad, too angry at like news, or even if you're like enjoying watching and it's humorous or whatever, just if you find yourself relating too much to it, or even starting to do bodies movements like people that you watch on TV, even if it's a TV show that you watch and you start imitating them, your subconscious mind is actually regulating with that, thinking that you're in it, thinking that you're there. So one way to cut this is just quite literally imagine a big cable coming out of the back of your head, big like a coax cable, but a big fat one coming out of the back of your occiput back there. Imagine a television behind you, and just imagine unscrewing that little cable and throwing it to the side, and it dissolves. Allow God's light, Christ, to come down with a big ball of light and just heal that space right there on the back of your head, because that's where many things are being delivered into your subconscious mind to program you to not realize who you are and what you are and why you are. And you are all beautiful God beings here on this planet, here to enjoy your life, love your life, enjoy this beautiful planet that you've created, the water, the trees, the nature. Get out in nature. Don't allow yourself to be too electrical in the circuits of the TVs and the computers and the devices. Undevice yourself. Give yourself a detox, even if it's to not even watch us speak for a few days. To give yourself a 3-day detox from devices and see how you feel. You will feel so much better. You will feel refreshed, and you'll go, wait, I can't even listen to music because that's on my device. Or, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Or, what do I do? Oh, I guess I can read. I guess I can think. I guess I can go outside and walk. So just maybe start with 1 day or 5 hours or 10 hours. Someone's like, how about 5 hours? I'm like, okay, 5 hours. 5 hours is okay. Just start with a little detox. Do it with your children. Make it a family thing, and you will see that your life will completely, completely shift and change. And like I said, declutter your house. This is
Yeah.
very, very important indeed. Okay, now they're done.
Great. Okay. Well, we've kind of done our hour, a little over an
Yeah.
hour. So, everybody, if there's anything that you got out of it today, and I apologize for my voice, give us a like or a subscribe, just so that we can be able to get this out
Or
a little bit,
share. Mhm.
little bit further. Yeah, and
Mhm.
share if you can. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what's hard about sharing is you're afraid that you're going to share it with somebody who's going to think you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So sharing is very hard.
Hmm.
Uh, but word of mouth is usually pretty good too, because it doesn't take too long. Well, maybe it does,
Hmm.
but if something's good and it's helping people, it'll get more and more viewers. And we've been around for a long time, but we've been hidden away down in the world of Facebook.
Yeah, on
Where
Facebook.
And so anyway, I think on YouTube, or I don't know if you're going to. I don't
I
know
had
where
one girl
else
who
you're going to
shared
put
our
this.
YouTube link with a bunch of friends privately. She just sent it to them via email or text message and was like, "Hey, check out this episode that we did, I think yesterday or the day before." Um, she was
Yeah, but
excited to know that we were on Facebook because she couldn't share with us because a lot of people don't have Facebook. They've quit Facebook, so she couldn't share it. But she's like, "Oh,
yeah.
you're on YouTube? I'll share that link." So she did. Thank you,
Oh,
Abby.
yeah, that's great. So anyway, it's the world is as it is, and we were strictly up until recently. Um, we were reading Bible, reading the Urantia book, discussing what that was all about,
Mhm.
and uh, if we ever got into politics, we'd get banned or something.
Mhm.
So we had to really counter what we ever said. And if I ever mentioned the word Trump, we'd lose half our viewers,
Mhm.
because they're just so anti-Trump. And it's okay. You're completely apolitical. You don't even watch the news, and that's what makes this show so good.
Mhm.
Because I can bring in the news. I'll try to bring it in fairly, as I understand it, from today until tomorrow. And it's kind of fun to hear what the other side has to say, which you have the ability to do. And it's uncensored. Nobody's censoring us, hopefully. But, well, they
No.
did that one day because
Mhm.
we cannot discuss
Medical.
pharmaceutical stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we can't
Which,
we
oh,
can't.
what, by the way, the other side works for the pharmaceutical industry and Satan. And then the other side, the Republicans, and it's not saying the Republicans are bad or that nothing like that, but Lucifer is over on this side with the car companies and the Fed. I don't know why he's over there. And then Satan's over here with the pharmaceutical industries and it's like production companies, like I see like movie industry, stuff like that. So it's like there's different influences in the world that are backing these two different sides, and they're like, well, if we get you to win, then this and that, then you're going to help support our cause or whatever. So there's something, and mark my words, and we'll find out later, and we'll be like, oh, that's what it was. Something with Toronto and something with the mirror world in Toronto, because it's a, I keep seeing it over and over and over and over and over. And you talked about the Fed today, you talked about the banks backing stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's that or not or whatever, that however Toronto is backwards. There must be somebody in Toronto, or there must be aliens in Toronto, or something in Toronto. The cigarette smoking man is like keeping private or something, and there must be a lot of money there backing someone or something to do something, and Trump is a part of it. He knows what's going on, but he
He
knows a
knows
lot.
he knows a lot because he was president already. So
Yeah,
he's already had access to everything.
stuff that
Everything.
Kamala doesn't have access to. And what they're saying is today I last night I kept seeing Mickey Mouse going like this to me because I was seeing a guy that had gone back into his some a little kid's body, but I kept seeing Mickey Mouse, and turns out I kept seeing Mickey Mouse because apparently the girl I was reading for, her cousin, it was her cousin's dad that I was trying to connect with. His name was Uncle Brian, coincidentally. They're at Disneyland today. So I kept seeing Mickey Mouse standing in a doorway going, and I was like, why am I seeing Mickey Mouse? Well, apparently they were at Disneyland today. I asked the guides before we went live on here, before I was talking to you, what correlation Disney has with like Satan or Lucifer or anything like that. And they said no correlation with either one of those. Disney has its own field of energy. It's its own like thing that's ruled by its own energy, and it's kind of otherworldly, and it's a Christ-like energy, and that's why so many people like get drawn towards it. But it's an anti-ascension. Like, you can't ascend if you're in that field of energy and you're living in there. You can't ascend into your own being. You stay in there and you become like a light that fuels that energy. And whatever Walt Disney or wherever he is, like, he probably feeds off that. But whoa, that's weird. Okay, Disney
Yeah.
always does weird things to everything. Disney is the weirdest energy in the world. Is the weirdest energy in the world. But
Yeah. No,
why is it
Marissa.
doing
Yeah. Yeah. Total feedback. That's the dark side.
exactly?
They don't like you talking bad about it, especially Disney. Yeah.
Well, Disney's horrible. They kill the parents in the it's the first time kids ever think about their parents dying is watching a Disney movie, because you watch the little baby animals, like, or you watch like Bambi die or something. It's the very first time kids ever realize my parents could die, and then they have this
Yeah.
uncontrollable sadness that their parents are going to die, because when kids watch a show, they are that being. Like, they think that they're the character, so that whatever they're watching, their subconscious mind thinks that they're going through it. So that's just why you just have to be very careful with what you show your kids, and because their brains will think that they're actually experiencing it, and then they start thinking you're going to die, then they start having nightmares, and then that's when spirit beings can step into their field because they're in fear, when in reality it's up to us to keep them safe so they're not afraid. So other stuff can't take them over. But I did a cool exercise, and we're gonna release it. We're gonna post it somewhere. I think Danielle was gonna take it out of the recording from last night that she got of this exercise about a sandbox and clearing it and getting rid of all the spirits that are in yours or your child's energy. It was pretty cool. I think she's gonna make it and then post it on Patreon. So if you want it, it's on Patreon.
Why don't you? Why don't you? You have your show that you need to get ready for.
Mhm.
And which you have on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
So why don't you let those who don't know about it,
Oh yeah.
how they can get into your Patreon page and
I
become a part of your close group.
Yeah, so Patreon, you can sign up for free and you can follow the post for free. I post all the stuff public that are like links to my class. So I already posted the Zoom link. It's already open. I think people are already logging into it. But I start my meditation from 6, and we usually say we're gonna end at 7:30, but it's usually about 8 or 8:30.
But if I go
we do
into
meditation
Patreon,
class.
if I go into Patreon, how do I find you?
You just it's patreon.com/discovering intuition. So discovering intuition.
intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
on there, it's all of my classes. And then after the class plays, the link that took you into class will be a copy of class. So after the fact, I make it so that not the whole public can see public can't see it anymore. I make it so that just the people that are Patreons can go back, and it's anywhere from $5 to $150 a month to be a Patreon. But the 150 people are just prepaying for their classes, and then they get a whole bunch of stuff for free. So it's cool, and then they get access to me all the time. They can ask me questions, but it's a fun little community of people. We have like maybe 25, 30 people that come every single week, and then like a mishmash of like 10 or 12 people that kind of come and go. We used to have like 500 people. It was huge, but I like it personally. I kind of like it like this because I get to answer everyone's questions. I do personal readings on everybody. I number everybody. I do a healing on you and your family and your house. And even if you don't want to be involved, and everyone's cameras are off, nobody's looking at each other, I just tell people, if you're embarrassed to come, just come. Use a fake name if you want to. Even Patreon, you can sign up with a fake name. I was a fake name on all my spiritual websites when I first got into this stuff because I was embarrassed, like somebody was going to know me or something and judge me. So my name was tuned in on everything that I signed up for. I wasn't Marissa. So it's like you can sign up with a fake name if you want to, and then just come on in and come to class and see how you like it. And first class is free, so just the link is there. Click on in, and then you pay when you get there. And if you can't pay, then I let you trade, like write like a testimonial, or make a little picture or something and post it, not post it on your wall, but give it to me and we can post it as a marketing piece or something like that. So it's really easy. I don't want to make anybody not be able to come because of money, but it's $30, and pay what you can. And yeah, patreon.com/discovering intuition. And that's it.
Good. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good show tonight.
Thanks.
Hi, Bella. Hello, Bella. She's such a cute dog, but a pain in the ass.
She's such a pain. She's so annoying. She's so
Yip,
loud.
yip, 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 yip. She's
Mhm.
got the loudest and shrillest yips.
Yep.
Anyway, listen, hopefully we can get back together tomorrow. Hopefully nothing
Yeah.
weird happens. And we'll see what happens in the news cycle between now and tomorrow, and
Okay.
then see what the other side has to say. So anyway, thank you. I was not going to do this show today, but now I'm glad we did.
Yeah, me
So
too. And Jesus,
anyway.
just watch over Papa and make sure that he doesn't get too sad, and just protect his heart and Tawny's heart and Drew's heart, and just make sure that everything flows as peacefully as possible in their house, and bring a new body for Star to jump into and enjoy this brand new body that hasn't had millions of babies, and then we'll get to have millions of babies. So Jesus is like, she'll get to have lots of babies. Aw,
Oh,
oh, he's
oh,
holding her. Oh my God, I'm gonna
oh,
cry.
oh my God.
That dog
That's the
is not
Holy
cute.
Spirit.
It's cute, but it's like not like the pugs are so funny looking.
Oh, I know. Star was half Chihuahua and half pug, and her bottom teeth would show. And so she always looked like she was angry, and she wasn't. And she was the sweetest little dog. But I used to say, Star, you poor dog, you're so ugly. You're so ugly. My God, but you're so
Now she gets to be
beautiful.
cute. She gets to come back and be a cute dog. Get her a cute body.
That'll be great. Okay, Marissa, have a good
Okay.
show. Break a leg
All right.
tonight. And
Okay. Break a leg.
uh,
Okay. All right. Love you,
uh,
Papa.
love you too. See you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye.